terrible angle. Hello!
Thing to do, since we have so many holes in our icing bag, is just to get the icing, get the sweet, and do it this way rather than attempting to pipe. I think it's going okay. It's fine. Everything's fine. Charlotte has gone rogue with the design. I've decided to.
So, pardon the noise you're hearing. It is Brian is taking a shower with the door open. If we take showers with the door closed, it gets insanely steamy in there, regardless of the fan. So, here we are. I'm making eggs for young. Already washed. Brian already prepped me some beef. There's right over there. And I've got to cook each layer at a time. So, it's the mushrooms first, then the sprouts, because mushrooms take the longest to cool down. Mushrooms, saute them up, get them soft. Then the sprouts, saute them up, get them soft. Then your aromatics, saute them up, get them soft. And you can put them in kind of any order you want. Often I do the Often I do the aromatics first because it flavors the oil for all the progressive things to come. And our nonstick pan croaked. We ordered a new one, but today we're going to be cooking this in cast iron. Wish me luck because I've never done that. And also, this is Brian's utensil situation is not as perfect for this because I have like a scooper that is for, it's like a broad, wide end on it with holes in it that is for actually frying things. So we shall see how well I do the flip with these guys and possibly utilizing a cheese grater, no joke, because it's a similar structure, just you scoop and flip, so we shall see. Wish me luck. Now, if you have never had shallots, I didn't have shallots until I was in my, late 20s. They're wonderful. I always thought, oh, what's such a big deal? Why would you spend more money on them? They are like garlic and red onion had a baby. They are delightful. So I'm going to be preparing all of this and sauteing it along with some garlic cloves. I usually do way more than what they say because garlic. Rinse these bad boys. So when you get some sprouts like this, make sure that you have a commitment, okay? Because these go bad in like 3 days after you've purchased them. So be ready. Like, okay, if I'm going to do egg foo young, then I need to buy this 2 days tops before I'm going to make it. You can't buy them. And then see how this is kind of like, these are 2 days, and you can kind of see how they're a little wilty, but you're supposed to rinse them anyway. So I'm going to be rinsing them. So that's just the sprout advice when it comes to egg foo young. So I'm letting this warm up, and I'll do all the things so you get to watch all that. So this was a, let's see, honey, 9 ounce. That was a 9 ounce. Give it a rinse. Still crunchy, still good. I think that I'll just incorporate some other vegetable in there. So we grabbed a bunch of baby bok choy. So I'm gonna pull out probably one of these and chop it up. One sec for that. I need to empty out the cutting board once that coconut oil is melted in there for the sauteing. So give me a sec. All right. Season because you're still going to add tamari and pepper to the final stuff, the egg mix for the egg foo young. But definitely do a light seasoning on each layer. So that's the garlic and shallot right now. It was a smaller shallot, like a half-size one, so like if it would fit in my hand like this. So. that's how I do measurements. I'm not a chef. I do have a cookbook I'm working on, so for that I will have to be measuring, but for the most part I don't measure, I just make it happen. So this guy, once it gets tender, I'll scoop it out, and I got a glass dish for it to cool off in, because each layer has to be cooked separately, so that, or each vegetable, whatever it is, has to be cooked separately so that it's all cooled off by the time you get the egg mixture together, and then blunk it into the, tech talk, into the egg mixture, so that you don't curdle or cook the eggs. So it's just all gotta go first, and it takes a little. I mean, egg bouillon at home takes a bit of time. It's not like those pre-made patties that they have at most Asian places. And there are a few Asian places that actually will do their own, and then they just kind of stamp them out, kind of like a hamburger pattern, right? So they'll have like a hamburger stamper, and they make their own in a tray, and then they kind of partially freeze it when they stamp them out, and they're all exactly the same. And that's one of the places that is in town that I know does that, is Blue Willow, and it's so yummy. I love theirs, and it doesn't make my stomach upset because they don't use any weird breading stuff on it or anything. It's just a delicious patty. And for all their thickening agents, and for their like chicken, sweet and sour chicken and stuff, they use corn flour or usually rice flour for most things. So I can actually eat everything there, which is amazing. So if you are fully celiac, you might have a problem there, but I have never had a problem there, not once. I just pile of food in my mouth. I love that place. Blue Willow in Salem, Oregon. My lovely and talented assistant. Don't tilt it too far, because I want to save the oil so that it's flavored oil for the next thing that's going in there. That's his young Frankenstein monster impression. So with these, give a rinse, take it apart, give it a rinse, get the dirt off of it. It's normal for it to have these little spots. Yeah, those are normal. That's just how they work. And then what I do is, this is a thicker part, so you cut this very thin. Start cooking this before you start cooking the greens. So you got to chop the bottom bit off first, the white part. Chop it thin, and then saute it after you're done with this one. Get down to there, and then I'll wait because I've got the littlest cutting board ever, so I'll wait before I chop up all these greens and throw them in after these are partially done. These are coming along nicely. They take a little bit longer than you think they would, but once they're ready, so you've got to keep them kind of moving and keep an eye on them, because they have about 30 seconds where they're done, and then they're just insanely done. So, and also you have to think all these things are going to be cooked again, because we're putting in some fry oil. I'm going to be doing a shallow fry today. Often the normal thing, and not often, but the normal thing I guess is to just do a peanut oil, which I do not cook with. I hate the flavor of peanut oil. So I was using unflavored coconut oil. The flavor would be lovely as well, depending on what flavor you're going for. I've done both, and they're both great. Unflavored coconut oil, and then I throw a little bit of toasted sesame oil in when I'm getting ready to actually fry the egg bouillon. It adds that lovely peanutty flavor, and without it, it's just not the same. So toasted sesame oil is definitely a thing. You get a really good deal on that at Costco, and then of course just straight up like Asian markets, and we just try to support our local Asian markets as much as we can. So we didn't realize how low we were on this guy. This is my favorite brand, until late last night, so we stopped and grabbed some, I don't know, Signature Select, which is just the Safeway brand that's been something that they bought from somebody, I'm sure, and it's rebranded as Safeway. So those guys are good and done, I can tell. So one sec.
Time?
Yeah, so just They just need to be spread out throughout there. Get in there, just wiggly. You got it? I can be more forceful. I'm asking if I can be more forceful with what I
Do whatever you need to do, baby.
I'm trying to let it drain at the same time so I don't dump all the... Oh, it looks like there's enough juice in here to wipe out the oil anyway, so... That, and now set that on the burner and I'll turn that off for a second. And I need to spread this out and then I need to chop up... Oh, actually I'll have to turn it off. Because I got this to cut too. So we'll do that. I need to chop those right there pointing up, and my brain's not coming up with words.
Those
Mushrooms, there we go. You're gonna need this many.
shrooms. That's a lot of shrooms.
Gonna need that many. And like I said, this is actually a small batch, so you're going to have leftovers, which is fine because you can use the pre-mixed egg bouillon stuff as like just quick, easy cook stuff. So it'll just be available in the bowl in the fridge, and there you go.
Seems like when I was much younger, we would buy a can of like chow mein.
Oh yeah,
Canned chow mein, drain it.
That's the thing.
Yeah. And then make it.
When we were growing up, we had that. It was the small tin on top was the crunchy noodly thing.
Right. Yep.
And then the whole big can at the bottom was already pre-made with the sprouts and everything.
Right. Veggie mix, Chungking or one of those brands. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're still around. I just haven't eaten in years. When I got out on my own and started making my own money, I'd come home from doing construction all day and I would eat an entire container of that to myself.
There are a lot of canned vegetables that I would go to as my first choice.
What? Really? Like
There's
what?
fresh vegetables, a lot. Some frozen vegetables are pretty good. For canned, there's only a few that... Like canned pumpkin is good.
Yeah.
Pickled beets in a can are good. I don't know what else. What other vegetables would be best canned?
I never had a problem with it. Whatever they put on that mixture for the... No, it was sort of like Lun Chan or something. It started with an L. What was that? Anyway, I would eat a shit ton of that because it didn't change the flavor for me.
Yeah, but why would you go to that instead of fresh vegetables, though? That's the thing.
Because I'd have to cook it then.
Yeah.
And no offense to my family members, but I wasn't raised cooking things, so I was just like, well, this was yummy, and I remember having this as a treat.
Right.
So, as a young person just getting out on their own, and it's pretty inexpensive.
Yeah, but see what you're doing now, you're not using the canned stuff. You're
cooking
up the fresh veggies.
Yeah, but I growed now.
Yeah.
I wasn't growed then.
Yeah.
I was little.
No, but I'm thinking now, what things would you use out of a can that are...
Definitely pickled beets.
Beets.
And any kind of pickly, a good pickle, not a squishy pickle. So, green bean pickles, that kind of stuff, yeah. What else would I hate? Peas and green beans, as you guys all probably already know, and I know you know.
And even if you liked them, frozen would be better than canned.
True, but gross. Both of them were disgusting.
Or corn.
Frozen corn is not bad.
Corn is good. Mm-hmm. I would choose that over a can anytime.
Mm-hmm. I don't know the most canned things I eat. I don't know. Let's go look in the pantry. It's like sardines.
Yeah.
Soaked up all the oil. Just a little bit more in there. And if you're going to be making egg bouillon, honestly, I can't tell you what people would consider a healthy way. I don't think that fat is bad for you. My tummy does a lot better if I have more just straight veggies and meat and good fat that hasn't been overly processed. So that's what I live by. So do what you want with this recipe. I can't think of another way that you could make this lower fat. If you have gallbladder removal issues and things like that, I could see why you'd want to lessen the fat. Or my stepmom has Crohn's disease, I believe. Is that Crohn's? Or that's the intestinal one, right? Yeah, because Graves is the one that my cousin has. It's the thyroid situation. She can literally, she has to eat like 7 times more than she normally would because her body just loses weight constantly. So.
But egg foo young at its basis is a fried thing,
Yeah.
right? So if you're trying to give up fat, this is probably not on your diet.
Yeah. Well, that and just some people's bodies just don't process fat the same way. And that's why I wanted to make sure that I had that point to people that this is how my body handles food.
Right.
Like you don't do well with extra fiber in your diet.
Right.
Because your body can't handle it, but I'm like, you're like, you eat way more vegetables than I ever would, and I'm like, I love them. So this might be a bad idea for you, except the only real fibrous thing is going to be this, cabbage replacement, basically. I need to go take a break and sit down for a little bit. I've been making a lot of origami boxes for selling at the market, and for commission pieces, and it's just kind of wearing me out in my upper body. Luckily, if you've seen in my previous, I'll turn this off for now. Seen in my previous videos from Vlogtober that Brian fashioned me a lovely tall table that is wonderful, and I'm actually able to work on it without not even an eighth of the pain that I would have had. So again, thank you, honey. I appreciate you. You're wonderful. And also, I need to take breaks, so I need to stop for just a little bit, and then I'll come back and we'll take care of these mushrooms and stuff like that. So for me, it'll be about half an hour probably, and for you, it'll be, seconds, hopefully. Team, don't wash your mushrooms. I'm not that guy. It's growing in shit. It's gonna get washed. So we need a choppy.
You want to dry them off first?
Why would we do that? We're just gonna cook them.
Yeah, but you want to, okay, whatever you do it. Do what you're going to do, woman.
Well,
Woman?
oh yeah, these need washed more than that. They got the slime going
Did you
on.
see how much effort I put into that?
Oh.
They weren't slimy until you got them wet.
Oh, you live in a dreamland. Just gonna rinse them. And fondle them. Fondle them under the water, Brian. And it's trying to break the bottom of
Oh
it.
shit, I lost one. Whoop, whoop.
Trying to break, it's like this is woody. Pull the woody bits. Keep the not woody
That's what I
bits.
say. Every man agrees with that.
Pull all the woody bits, baby. No judgment here. Pulling all these out. They're all kind of woody. It's a weird time of year for... If we go pick our own mushrooms, I'm sure they'd be a lot better than this.
No, it'd be terrible.
Would they? Is it too late in the year?
No, it's not a matter of too late in the year. It's just a matter of, shit. I don't know what I'm saying exactly.
I don't know what statement you were trying to make. When you
I have
said
no
they were
idea
terrible.
either. If you
Sometimes-
don't know by now.
Sometimes you just make noises with your mouth.
Exactly.
Will you help me chop these, please? My thumb is really hurting me.
Chop, chop.
So,
What chopping
honestly,
you need?
don't be fancy about it. Plunk them
You
down.
want them sliced, chopped?
Well, what I do here, I'll just give you a quick example, and then you can do the rest, and I'd
Okay.
appreciate that because my hands are not very good. Literally just like this, and then the other direction. Get
So
them
just
down. Get them
a
out.
rough chop.
All about to this size.
Okay.
Thank you, baby.
That one was gritty.
I need to save my, this part of my thumb dislocates. So it's been stinging.
Those are terrible.
Are they terrible? Why?
No, they taste like mushrooms.
Which is terrible? You like mushrooms.
I do.
It's just being difficult. Anyway,
I am.
so he's helping me because I need to save my strength for finishing off a few more boxes.
I think I'm difficult now. Wait till I get into the scotch.
I like when you're difficult from scotch. It's pretty cute.
Yeah, like that.
You're all like, brr, 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 brr. I'm like, you're really cute. You're like, hee hee hee.
Blah, 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 blah.
So cute.
Mm.
Let's get that started.
How many coconuts died so we can make this?
I don't know, but thank you, coconuts.
I need one one of them big cleavers. June, Ward, Beaver.
Know if you guys have ever heard of it, but we're rewatching Brian's first watch and my rewatch. That's totally fine. Of Long Way Round, and it's about a motorcycle trip with Ewan McGregor and what was Charlie's last name?
Charlie something or other.
Charlie something or other.
Ewan's buddy.
And it is wonderful and fascinating, and there's challenges and they're met and they do the things and the stuff. It's really well done. So highly recommend. It is from 2003, so to go around the world the long way round with old school GPS and a compass. It's pretty
maps.
cool. And some maps. Yeah, it's just pretty cool. Yeah, I dig it. You digging it so far, baby?
Digging it so far. They start in London and go all the way through Europe, Kazakhstan, across parts of Russia, Mongolia.
I really want to go to
all
Mongolia.
the way through Siberia to the far
Excuse you.
far east, and then
Those are
fly to Alaska.
Throw them in
And
there, baby.
then is this even on?
Yeah.
This thing on?
Then
Fly
across.
to Alaska, then ride from there all the way to New York.
Mhm.
New York City.
Down through Canadian land and across the top part of the U.S. So it's very, very, very cool.
Take
Now we're
however
gonna-
many months.
We're going to saute these up to the same consistency as the other veggies. So just 3/4 sauteed. And then, okay, so a little sprinkle of salt. Time to move these into the cooling bin. Oh, they smell like heaven in here. And I just go ahead and scoop all this out. I don't worry about saving any of the oil because the mushrooms,
That's probably more water
it's
than
almost
oil.
all water, yeah. So I'm doing the back brace hand movement here. Okay, set those there. And the next thing is we need to heat. Yes. Calm down, I'm thinking while I'm doing things. Demandy. You know what? It's a good thing that I like you. Goodness. Anyway, so we need to heat this up a little bit because it's just going to be like stone cold from the fridge, basically. And I turned the...
But it'll cook in the thing.
Yeah, but we just need to warm it up a little bit, so we don't want it. We want all these things to be similar temp. So I've turned the burner off, and I'm just going to let it sit in there for a little bit. And get a little bit warm. Maybe down, let's see. Yeah, that should be good. That'll get it warm through. So let's just let
up
it...
to room temperature. Or whatever.
Yeah, because it's, I mean, they were really cold when you were chopping it, which is nice when you're chopping it up, right? Then it cuts much more easily and evenly. So we just let that sit for about 5 minutes, and then I can start this part too. So you want to bust out some eggs.
Busting out the eggs. How many eggs you want, baby?
6, and we're going to crack them before we crack them.
We're going to crack them before we crack them?
Yeah, so we crack them into a bowl.
Cracking?
So these are all store-bought eggs, so this should be fine, but often the eggs are like the farm fresh eggs, so it's best that you might not need all 6, depending on the size of eggs that you get, but it's best that you go ahead and crack them into a smaller bowl and then put them in your main bowl. So that's what we do. It's a frittata. So I have done egg foo young frittata because it is easy. Egg foo young though is a patty, so you take a ladle's worth and you plunk it in, or a 1/4 cup or whatever. You plunk it into at least this much oil. That's what I can see too. And then you flip it onto itself and you pour the oil from the pan onto the top of the egg before you flip it over.
I was wondering, do you need to thicken the eggs with something so they don't spread out all over? Or
Nope.
Okay.
So, where's your measuring cups?
You need cups, not spoons.
Mine are
Cups.
Mhm.
1/4, 1/3, half.
1/4 cup.
1/4
Tomorrow.
cup of stuff.
Now, you're supposed to use white pepper for this. I've never used white pepper for this. I understand why you should use white pepper for this, but there's a flavor difference, but mostly I think it's just people don't like seeing the pepper flakes. I don't care. I think that that's a dumb distinction. There is a flavor difference for certain things. You should use white pepper.
And that's a common thing
taste.
for like white sauces is you use white pepper because it looks so everything still looks white, right?
So
tiny whisk.
I don't have a tiny whisk, so I wish I did. Maybe that's for Christmas, my own personal tiny whisk. So I am going to whisk this together. So it's just soy sauce, egg, black pepper, and all the other flavors are going to be coming from here. So you can do other things in here, but this is my base and this is what I do. And time to whisk. Then actually that's the reason why I've got this. I'm going to whisk it and let it the flavors marry before I plunk the other cooled off ingredients. So it's good once you've got everything warmed up enough to whisk this now. I've seen people use like a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons, but they don't come out as flavorful as when you use a 1/4 cup. And also, tamari, from my experience, is slightly less salty. It has a better flavor. So these are my adaptations to a recipe that I got from. Actually, I'll put the link down below. The recipe that I originally started with for this. And now we're just going to let that marry for a little bit and watch a little bit more of the long way round. So, chuck and plunk, 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 plunk. So this is leftover prime, what's it called? Prime rib?
Prime rib.
Prime rib roast from Thanksgiving. And I always save this because this is the thing that I line with paper when I pulled out the fried goodness and let them rest. So I always save this in the same spot where it was just at, baby. You don't need to do anything special. So mix it together. It doesn't look that appetizing. Oh, it smells like heaven though. Good night. Get it really good and mixed. And then I let it marry again. You don't have to, but the flavor gets so much better if you just let it marry for about 20 minutes. So let's go finish this episode. And then we'll start cooking. Sound good?
Excellent.
Oh, it smells like heaven. Pink is up. Uh-oh, I left my drink out there. Can you bring me my drink?
I can hook you up.
Oh, you're my favorite. For many, many reasons. Okay. So let's use what's left of my preferred sesame oil, and we'll see what the other one. See what the other one smells and tastes like. It should be fine, but so that's a little. You gotta wiggle it. It's got this kind of like little dispenser top on it. So like that. Make sure I get all of it because I like to not waste things. And let's see if I can get this open without help. I'm gonna need help, babe.
Okay.
Please. Oh, I may have gotten it. No, it's too hard. I got it part way.
Oh my god.
No, wait. Also, oil all over my fingers.
It's sealed for both of our protection.
Thank you.
It's a lovely color.
Smells right. Okay, so I would say I put at least a tablespoon of this in. Get that heated up. So here's a quick way to test if it's hot enough. Take a little bit of water from the tap. Almost hot enough. We didn't get a very violent splash. There we go. Generous scoop. And remember, the first one of any just like there's always a sacrificial pancake and a sacrificial waffle, right? So you have to have a sacrificial. Words would be good. A sacrificial beginning one, but whatever. Yeah, egg foo young, there we go. My brain finally. Okay. So it should be deeper than this, but this is what we got. I'm having to put it into a bowl. So, fair warning. This is also the first time I've done this in a cast iron skillet as opposed to I did it, what do you call it, non-stick wok or non-stick pan that's very full. So, it still is going to be delicious, but it's not what you're going to want. It's all loose and weird. So I put another egg in here, which seems to have changed the balance, which looks nice. So, we shall see. I'm just going to let this one cook off and throw it in this bowl so it doesn't like...
So I can just shove it in my face?
Yeah, we'll both shovel it into our faces. But it's not going to make like what we want. The cohesive goodness that we want. I was just trying to be really careful because I wasn't sure how a cast iron would function this way, since I've never used it for that. So. The flavor is right on. Okay, yeah. Yum. I'll try to get one that actually holds together.
Instead of going all sides, it went to one side.
It makes it extra weird. It starts coming apart immediately. Alright, I don't know how much you can see of this. One sec. So as you can see, it's just kind of falling apart in there. And here in a second, I'm going to have to flip it over with the 2 scoops. And then I think Brian and I are just going to go ahead and call this a done meal for this video so that we can just eat. So, let's do it at a different time with the different dishes. You can see it just comes out totally different. We've got a little bit deeper oil, non-stick pan. So, we're going to cook ourselves up some food and be done with this this one for today. So, love you guys. Please subscribe.
Peace out.
Please go and come see me about some awesome sauce and origami boxes during the holiday season. And I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.